Hi guys, so for my video, I worried about the question, which I believe was number 11. I have to double check that. But so what I did was I worried about the ones where they gave you this pentagon with a handful of missing angles and asked you to figure out the different ones. I chose this one because I feel like there's so many different skills being tested here, and the kids have to recall so many different rules or formulas to try and remember what they can do. And at the same time, I think it's pretty cool too because it's more open ended. And so the students have a few different ways they could solve it in order to find different answers. And so I thought that was kind of cool because even if they forgot one thing, they might be able to use a different rule to help them figure it out. Sorry, this is actually number 14. But so what I did here is I looked at first I was looking at the Polygon and automatically I just wanted to do all my supplementary angles. But then I also went back and thought about it. How else could I solve this? And so that's when I thought about the idea of, let me move this over here, the diagonals and finding the interior angle sum. And so instead of using the formula, I used more of the number of triangles. And so since I could cut this into 3 triangles, I knew there was going to be 540 degrees. And I also thought about all of our different supplementary angles. And so all of these create these green lines I used to show that it was a straight line. And so we know that those are going to equal 180. And then lastly, we remember that the exterior angle sum creates a full circle, and so it will be 360. And so I did my work here. I showed each angle, and so I actually went through, and for the first 4, I really did just use supplementary. And at first, I actually was looking at E and F, and I completely forgot what to do. And this was before I went back and was like, well, what are we asking the kids to actually look at here? And so at first I was like, well, how the heck do you want me to figure this out? You didn't give me either of them. And I was trying to look for parallel lines or a transversal, and I was like, I'm confused. And then I remembered that we could have done, so I did the interior angle, but we could have also done the exterior angle and found F first. And so I think it'd be also interesting because your students could choose which way they do it, and there's more room for individual thought rather than just plug in the formula and figure it out. And then what I also did was, after I found my angles, especially when we do anything with these missing pieces, it's so easy to make one tiny mistake and one angle be wrong, and then it's going to throw everything else off. So my check, because I didn't use exterior angle sum, that's what I went through and checked. So I made sure that A, B, C, D, and F were equal to the 360 degrees. But after I was able to do this first problem, then when I moved to the second part of the question, where they asked, they did another one, and so I was looking, I'm like, well, now we have different ones missing, and so I think that's also why they try to look at that and then be able to figure them out. So once again, I used the supplementary for the first few, and then I went through and used the interior sum, and then the rest of the supplementary. So once again, I checked it with the exterior angle sum. I think it would also be cool when I was looking if I could try and find another way to do this as well. That's what I was wondering, if I missed any other ways. But I did think, I was like, because I was looking for the transversal, but because we don't know anything is parallel, I didn't believe we were going to be able to do that. I'm curious if we could draw transverse, like draw a parallel line and use a transversal, but I also guess that it would just be part of an angle. But so I thought these problems were pretty cool because you could go through and actually you're testing multiple different things in here and seeing what the kids know. But it was tricky at first because I had to remember exactly what I was looking for, and then that was the hard part, is to remember, well, how the heck are all these different angles related based off of the actual polygon and the rules for that individual polygon.